welcome back to my channel. Today I have a very special guest here with me today. This is my pup Halo. She's about a year and a half. I misspoke in my last video. I said we adopted her 2018, but we actually adopted her 2019. Today we're going to be introducing you to Halo and telling you all about her adoption story. So it's a pretty crazy one. I'm going to come on here, introduce you to my pup, my precious little daughter, and just talk to you about her adoption story, how we came to adopt her, and just how she is now, and you know what she's like, and all that good stuff. So thank you guys for checking out my video and my content. I really appreciate all the support. We're gonna go ahead and start talking about little Halo here, and I hope you guys like this video. We adopted Halo in September of 2019, so almost 2 years ago. And how that came to be, Aaron and I one day were just sitting at home in our apartment. We were looking at all these dogs. We really wanted to get a dog. We just weren't sure if it was the right time. And we really were just looking at dogs through Pet Finder. We found this one dog and he was so cute, but he ended up being adopted. So very happy for that family, for that dog. So we kind of gave up on our search for a little while. And then I don't know how we found Halo. We initially saw Halo's sister. We saw her sister and we were like, oh my gosh, she's so cute. She's a puppy, like we can, you know, it just doesn't seem like she'll get really big, because we're also trying to be very mindful. We were living in a smaller space, so we didn't want to get a huge dog and not have them have the space to run and play and really be themselves. So we were really mindful that we wanted to get a small dog first until we were able to move to a bigger place. So we researched the organization, and it was a nonprofit organization here in Northern Virginia. We went ahead, I believe we filled out the application, and then we talked to the foster mom, and we said like, hey, like, can we just meet her and, you know, see what she's like, see if she likes us, that kind of stuff. So filled out the application. I believe either that weekend or the weekend after, we actually went and met the pup. So we got there. There was 3 dogs in the litter. There was Halo and her 2 sisters. So we met her sister. She kind of wanted nothing to do with us. She came out, we like pet her for a little bit, we played, and then whatever. And then the foster mom was like, oh, do you want us to bring out her 2 sisters? And we're like, oh, sure. So she brings out the 2 sisters. The other one, the 2 of them looked kind of like German Shepherd mixes, and Halo was the only one who didn't look like them. So she brings out the other 2. Remember, she was also the smallest of her sisters. So I remember she brought her out, the foster mom brought Halo out, put her on the floor, and she immediately ran to Aaron. It was the sweetest thing. Immediately right then we looked at each other and we were like, this is her, she's for us. And so we talked to the foster mom. Our adoption application was approved, so we went ahead, and I think that same night we went and got everything we needed. So like her little cage, bed, food, toys, all that stuff. So fast forward, I think it was like a week after, it was time to go pick Halo up. And we get there, filling out, you know, all the necessary paperwork. We're talking to the foster mom, getting Halo's things from her. We're on our way home, and well, initially before we leave, Aaron notices these little like patches of dirt, like it looks like dirt, and we asked about it. We're like, oh, like, you know, what is this? Is it anything? And initially they had told us that Halo and her sisters had already gotten flea prevention, I believe, if I remember correctly. We're like, okay, cool. And we noticed these little patches, and they're like, oh, they were just playing in the mud the other day, so it's just dry dirt. And we didn't think anything of it, so we were just like, okay, cool. So we're driving home, we get home, and you know, like, we're trying to get her accustomed to her new home. We're letting her roam and smell the apartment, trying to like play with her, make her comfortable, and everything was well. So I had to leave later that day because I had an appointment. So I think like an hour later I was like, okay, I'm gonna head to my doctor's appointment. Call me if anything happens, or just call me if anything. I kid you not, as I'm in the car, my doctor at the time was right across the street from our apartment. So as I'm at the light by the apartment, Aaron calls me and he says, the dog has fleas. And I was like, what do you mean the dog has fleas? He's like, yeah, she has fleas. Like, I was just petting her and I saw like fleas, you know how they jump. And I was like, what? They told us, you know, that she had gotten her flea prevention and all that stuff, but she had fleas. And so I remember I had left my doctor's appointment. I not ran, but you know, I drove to Walmart and I was able to get, she was a puppy, she was 9 weeks when we adopted her, so we weren't really able to do a lot of stuff with her flea prevention because she was still too young. So ran to Walmart. I got vinegar because I researched some ways for puppies, and it said vinegar, like a vinegar bath was one of them. I got flea shampoo, which she was still too young to use, and then I got her pet action for fleas, and then I got like a little comb. I actually went to 2 stores. I went to the pet store by me, and then I went to Walmart, and this all turned out to be a whole fiasco. I felt so bad because her first memory with us was getting a bath because she had fleas and she was terrified. So we gave her the bath, we combed her, and we had to keep her in her cage, keep her confined. We did that, and the first night was awful. She was crying because, you know, it was a new environment for her. She was scared, she didn't know what was happening. You had these strangers giving her a crazy bath, combing her and giving her medicine. So it was scary for her. That happened. We were like, okay, like let's just deal with it, get her healthy and get her fine. So turns out that because she had fleas, we had to get our apartment fumigated because we didn't know like how quickly they spread or like if they laid any eggs. So at this point we had already spent a lot of money on her adoption fees, on her like getting her everything, her food, everything. Now we had to add on this fumigation for our apartment, which was also a lot of money because it was also very last minute. And she was a puppy. We were both working and we really didn't think about our decision. We kind of just like rushed into it without really thinking much of it. So she was home alone a lot and we just felt really bad. And so we got the apartment fumigated, and I believe that same weekend we just had to sit down and have a serious conversation about what was the right thing for us to do, because we had already spent a lot of money. We didn't have the time that we thought we would to have her in the apartment with us, and we just felt bad because we adopted her thinking we would be able to give her the best life possible, and right there at that moment that's not what it seems like. So I remember we talked about it, we, you know, had our disagreements, and we were both upset. We were both like, you know, like, do we give her back to this like organization? Do we give her, I had also talked to like our parents. My mom was saying that they would be able to take her in and watch her and like take care of her for a few months until we kind of got like a schedule together. And I was just like, no, like I don't want to give her away, like she's my dog, I don't want to. I was being very hard-headed about the whole situation because I was just emotionally attached to her at that point. So eventually we decided to have my parents take care of her for a little bit. So I think she stayed with my parents for about like 3 months. She stayed from like September to January of 2020. And in that time, like I remember the day we went to take her, we were both really sad, and I just didn't want to leave her. You know, when you get a dog, you become very attached to them. I didn't want to leave her, and I was crying. It was just a very sad day. And I remember when all that happened with the flea stuff, the day after I had to go to work, so I was telling all my coworkers about it because they were like my friends at the time, and I was telling them, and we were like just going off. We were like, how do you not tell someone that the dog has fleas? Like, why do you not let someone know? I even reached out to the adoption agency organization, and I told them, I was like, you know, like our dog has fleas, like we just had to get her a bunch of treatment for it, and we had to get our apartment fumigated. We would at least like our adoption fee refunded because this was a lot of money that we weren't expecting to spend. And all they said was no, they don't have fleas. They were given cap action, which when we looked up it, cap action is actually given to dogs when they already have fleas. So it's not a preventative medicine, it's like a, you know, they have fleas right then and there, this is the medicine we're gonna give them type of thing. It's not like pet armor or pet action where you give it to them every month to prevent fleas. You give it to them when they already have them. And all they offered was to give us like the $40 for the pet medicine for the fleas, and I was like, no, that's not what I wanted. So I just was like, you know what, whatever. We gave her to my parents for a little while, so she was living with them for about 3 months. We would go visit her all the time. I'm saying like almost every weekend when we had off, we would go visit her. We were still very much taking care of her. We would take care of taking her to the vet, taking her to get her shots and all her you know, medicine and treatment to prevent her from getting sick, especially as a puppy. We were so responsible for all that. I let my parents know, like, you know, thank you for doing, I don't want you to spend any money because this is our dog. We just don't have a schedule set out. So we still made sure to take care of everything Halo needed. So if she needed food, if she needed any medicine, if like anything like that, we made sure to take care of. She decided to join me. So my parents took care of her for a little while, and we told them, we were like, is it okay if we take her back at the beginning of the new year? So 2020, my parents like, yeah, that's fine, of course. So that's exactly what we did. We spent the holidays, because I was working in retail at the time. So from September until, you know, January was when we were super busy. We had Black Friday, the holidays, all that stuff. I was just super busy. Aaron was also really busy at his job at that moment. So we were like, let's bring her back in the new year when I won't have as much work and I can afford to take a little more time off and Aaron won't be as busy. Brought her back home January 1st, 2020. We were like, you know, this is the year, let's bring our daughter back. So we brought her back, and this is gonna be a very short video because that was pretty much it. We brought her back, and ever since then, everything's been fine. We have a schedule with her. She has like times when she eats and she goes out, and she's really made her home with us. And it actually worked out perfectly because we brought her back in January. 2 months later, the pandemic hit before, but 2 months later, I was working from home for like a month and a half. Aaron still was working from home. So we were here with her all the time. We always joke that she's gonna have major separation anxiety when Aaron goes back to work because she's used to him being here all the time. And now on weekends, we're both here, where I used to work weekends. So, you camera shy? Look at the camera, you shy? She's very camera shy. So it's worked out well. We did her DNA test like a year ago, and her results came back that she had hound mix in her, terrier mix, chow chow, so it was a bunch of other stuff. She's basically like just a mix of a lot of stuff, but we always tell people that she's half Jack Russell, half Beagle, because that's what she looks like and what she acts like the most. She's a very smart dog. She learns things very, very quickly, very energetic, loves to play, but she's also very, very sweet. And I remember when we had found her, we were looking up Jack Russell videos, and like every video said that they're very like little dogs are usually like snarky, but she's so sweet. She loves to be cuddled, she loves to be petted. She's a very, very affectionate dog, and she's very in tune with our like emotions and feelings, because I remember I was upset about something and she comes over and she'll like lick you and like nudge you until you're okay. Loves to run, loves to jump. She can jump pretty high. It's just fun seeing her grow. I think she's really, really, really good with people. We haven't encountered anyone that she's like, you know, didn't like, at least yet, but she likes all people. She gets along with other dogs for the most part. She's really only met like 2 dogs so far. So she's met my family's dog, and she's met, oh, thank you, mamas. And she's met Aaron's family dog. And Aaron's family dog is older, so she's just like, oh, get this puppy away from me. And then my family's dog is actually a puppy. I think he's not even a year yet, so they play a lot. But she's a very, very, very amazing dog. Aaron and I talk about all the time how grateful we are to have her and just how lucky we got with her, because she really is a good dog. And there are times, obviously, all dogs act down and don't listen, but she's so sweet. And Aaron and I just got very lucky with her and got very blessed with her as our first dog. That's the story of Halo's adoption. Thank you guys for staying tuned or sticking around and listening to it. I got into as much detail as I possibly could without trying to like call anyone out, but it was a pretty crazy story because there was so much that went on and so much happened in the blink of an eye. It all happened so quickly. We weren't expecting any of the flea stuff to happen. So it was just a very difficult time, and thankfully everything worked out in Halo's favor and our favor. But now she's a very happy dog. She's healthy, she's happy, and we're very, very happy we have her. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'm glad you got to meet my pup. She is the closest thing to my heart next to Aaron. I'm glad that you got to meet her. She's super special to me and Aaron. She's super special to anyone that comes around her, I think. You'll see her around more in a lot more videos and a lot more vlogs. And if she has her Instagram, I'll post it in the description below in case you want to follow her. That's Halo's adoption story. Thank you guys again for watching. I will see you in my next video. Bye.